I want to start today's deep dive with a bit of a paradox, really.
Okay.
Something I was thinking about looking at the sources for today. We are living through just this incredible explosion of information.
The infinite library problem. It's completely overwhelming.
Right. And we have these tools, ChatGPT, Claude, you name it, that can summarize that whole library in, seconds?
Yeah.
You could feed it the articles we're about to discuss and get a bulleted list before I even finish this sentence.
It'd be cleaner, faster, probably more efficient than listening to us talk for the next 20 minutes.
And yet, here you are. People are still listening to this or listening to us have a conversation.
Which is a fascinating tension, isn't it? If the goal was just information transfer, this format, a podcast, it shouldn't exist anymore.
The efficiency would have killed it.
Exactly. But the fact that it does exist and that you're here is actually the perfect starting point for today's topic.
It is, because we're not just talking about AI taking jobs or, automating emails. We're talking about something much, much deeper. We are diving into a philosophy from Dan Coe about the future of work. And his central argument is that AI isn't just automating tasks, it's commoditizing meaning.
That's the headline right there. We are facing a scarcity of meaning. And Coe's whole thesis is that we're in this really violent transition period.
From what to what?
From the age of the laborer, where you're paid to just do a task, to the age of the meaning architect.
Meaning architect. It sounds a little, a bit sci-fi.
Or like something you'd hear at a retreat in Joshua Tree, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But the way he breaks it down is surprisingly practical. It's almost like a survival strategy for the economy we're all stepping into.
It is a survival strategy, and the logic is kind of brutal, but it's simple. If a robot can do the labor loses all its value. It's just supply and demand.
So the only value left is the one thing the robot can't generate.
The why, the context, the meaning.
So today, we're going to unpack that. We'll walk through the history of human meaning, how we lost it, and maybe how to get it back.
We're going to talk about why struggle is actually an economic asset, not a liability.
And we're going to run your current career through something he calls the swap test to see if you're, safe from automation.
And we'll finish with the skill stack. Because the skills that got you hired in, say, 2015 are absolutely not the skills that will keep you relevant in 2030.
Okay, let's start with the context. The source material frames this whole thing through the 4 acts of meaning. I found this really helpful because it explains why so many people feel a bit adrift right now.
That's a great framework.
It frames the anxiety not as a personal failing, but as a big historical shift.
It really does. It maps out where humans have gotten their purpose throughout history. And more importantly, it shows why the old wells have all run dry.
So, set the stage for us. What is Act 1?
Act 1 is up there. This is, the vast majority of human existence. Forger societies, early civilizations, feudalism. In Act 1, meaning wasn't something you discovered, it was assigned to you.
You didn't have to find yourself or take a gap year.
Not at all. Meaning came from up there, from the gods, the kings, your ancestors, the village elders. If you were born a blacksmith's son, your meaning was to be a blacksmith. Simple as that.
It sounds restrictive to us now, but I can imagine it was also incredibly psychologically safe.
Oh, totally. You knew your place. You weren't lying awake at night wondering if you were living your truth.
Zero existential anxiety.
Exactly. But then, the Industrial Revolution and the Enlightenment happened, and this brings us back to out there.
And science kind of kills the up there model.
Right. This is Nietzsche's God is dead. We stopped looking up there for meaning and started looking out there at the material world. Meaning became about progress, productivity, science. The American dream is really the peak of Act 2.
This is the laborer phase. You find meaning by becoming a productive part of the machine. Get the job, buy the house, contribute to GDP. The meaning is in the output.
Exactly. You extract meaning from the external world by building stuff. But we all know how the story goes. We're living at the tail end of Act 2, and it's crashing right into Act 3.
Act 3? Nowhere.
This is the postmodern condition. It's what happens when you realize that the machine doesn't actually care about you. We've deconstructed everything.
Right.
Religion is questioned, the corporate ladder is broken, national identity is all fluid. We've realized that truth is often just subjective.
This feels like the doom scrolling phase. It feels like a void. If meaning isn't from God, and it's not from working hard at some corporation, then where is it?
For a lot of people, it's nowhere. That's the crisis. That's the scarcity of meaning he's talking about.
But he argues that this void is actually a prerequisite for what comes next,
It is, for Act 4.
which is in here.
Precisely. If meaning isn't coming from the sky, and it's not coming from the factory, the only place left is inside you. It has to be generated internally, created by you, for you.
And this is where the meaning architect idea comes from.
Yes. In Act 4, you stop looking for a pre-existing path and you start building one. Your value is no longer your ability to follow instructions. An AI can do that perfectly.
So your value becomes your ability to synthesize reality through your own unique lens and then share that. You become the source.
You become the source?
That sounds, it sounds empowering, almost poetic, but I want to push back on the economics of it.
Go for it.
Philosophy doesn't pay the rent. The source talks about this theory called post-labor economics. How does finding meaning within myself actually, put food on the table?
That's the million-dollar question. And to answer it, we have to look at why the current economic loop is breaking. The old model was, you do labor, you get a wage, you spend the wage.
And companies hire more people and it goes around.
Right. But AI just obliterates the you do labor part. If software can do that labor for basically zero cost, the value of that labor plummets, wages for just executing tasks collapse, the whole loop breaks.
So where does the money come from? If nobody's paying for labor, what are they paying for?
There's this vision from Naval Ravikant. He said something like, there are almost 7 billion people on this planet. Someday, I hope there will be almost 7 billion companies.
A nation of solopreneurs, everyone is an enterprise of one.
Essentially, yeah. But here's the critical distinction that explains how you actually get paid. You have to understand the difference between speed and savoring.
Okay, this was my favorite concept in the reading. It really clicked. Break this down.
All right, think about, say, the DMV, or doing your taxes, or ordering fast food. Do you want a human connection with your tax software?
God, no.
Do you want the clerk at the DMV to tell you about their childhood?
Absolutely not. I want it done instantly. I want the pain to stop.
Exactly. That is a speed experience. We pay to escape those tasks.
Yeah.
AI will dominate 100% of the speed economy. If a robot can make my burger in 3 seconds for half the price, the human cook is gone. Efficiency always wins there.
But then you have the savoring economy.
Right. Think about a Michelin star restaurant, or a live concert, or even this deep dive. You don't want the chef to blend your steak into a smoothie so you can drink it in 4 seconds.
That would be efficient, but it would miss the entire point.
The entire point. You pay for the nuance, you pay for the story, you pay for the human touch.
There's a quote from Chris Paik in the notes that nails this. Silicon sands the rough edges of necessity, so carbon can ascend to meaning.
Silicon sands the rough edges. It's beautiful. The idea is that AI will handle all the friction, the logistics, data entry, manufacturing, and that frees up humans to handle the narrative.
So in this new economy, you're not paid for your output, you're paid for who you are.
The human is the product.
Which is a huge shift. We're used to the thing we make being the product.
Yeah, and that's terrifying if you don't know who you are. If your whole identity is I make spreadsheets, you're in trouble. But if your identity is I have a unique perspective on financial data,
then you have a fighting chance.
you've got a shot.
Okay, so that leads us directly into the how-to part of this. If we have to become meaning architects, we need a blueprint. The source breaks down the anatomy of meaning. How do we actually do this?
Well, it starts by figuring out what kills meaning, and the 2 great killers are stagnation and isolation.
No movement and no connection.
Right. If you aren't moving and you aren't connected, the human brain just goes to a very dark place. So the antidote is the 2 pillars. Progress and contribution.
Progress and contribution.
Progress is that internal feeling of moving forward, of getting better at something. Contribution is the external validation that your progress actually helps the tribe.
But you can't just do progress. You need fuel for it.
Yeah.
The source lists 3 generators for these pillars, and the first one is kind of counterintuitive. It's struggle.
Yeah, and we have to be really clear on this one. He doesn't mean suffering, not poverty, not inflicted pain. He means chosen resistance.
Why is that so necessary?
Yeah.
Wouldn't a life of total ease just be better? I feel like we're all trying to retire so we could do nothing.
Okay, think about the movie WALL-E. Everyone's floating in chairs, drinking shakes, watching screens. Everything is automated. Is that a meaningful life?
It's a nightmare. It's basically purgatory.
Exactly. Meaning requires friction. If you play a video game with cheat codes God mode, infinite ammo, it's fun for about 5 minutes. Then it's just boring.
The struggle is what makes the story.
The struggle is the engine of progress. You need a mountain to climb, otherwise the view from the top doesn't matter. As a meaning architect, you have to choose your difficulty.
The second generator is curiosity.
And this is the steering wheel. This is where humans just crush AI. AI is predictive. It guesses the most likely next word. Curiosity is inefficient. It's rabbit holes. It's wondering about some weird connection between 17th century architecture and modern coding.
It's the ability to waste time intelligently.
That's a great way to put it. That nonlinear exploration lets you connect dots that an algorithm would never see because the probability linked is just too low.
And the third generator is status. I know people get prickly about that word. It feels vain.
But everyone cares. We're social primates. If you're alone in the woods and you write the greatest novel ever, but no one ever reads it, does it have meaning?
Maybe to you, but it lacks contribution.
Right. So don't think of status as vanity. Think of it as recognition. It's the proof of contribution. It's the signal from the world saying, hey, I see you. What you did mattered.
So struggle, curiosity, and status.
Mm-hmm.
They combine to form a story.
And the human brain is a story engine. That's what the meaning architect builds, a narrative that others want to be a part of.
Okay, let's get practical. I'm listening to this. I'm a graphic designer, a copywriter, whatever. I feel like I have a story, but I'm also watching Midjourney get better every single week.
Right.
How do I know if my job is actually safe? The source has a litmus test for this.
The swap test. This is the tool everyone needs to use on their career, like tonight.
How does it work?
The rule is this. If you can swap the creator and the creation without the end product losing value, AI can and will replace you.
Give us a concrete example.
Sure. A stock photo of a business handshake. Does it matter who took that photo?
Not at all. I just need a picture of a handshake. Don't care if it was Bob or Susan.
Exactly. The value is in the what, not the who. AI can generate that in 3 seconds. That photographer's labor is worth 0. Now, contrast that with a photograph by Annie Leibovitz.
Totally different. You're paying for her eye, her reputation, her specific style. If I hire Annie Leibovitz, I want an Annie Leibovitz photo.
And if you swap her out for an AI, the value just creates a crater. You're paying for the who. The whole goal of the meaning architect is to build a moat around their work, where the value is inseparable from their identity.
The source lists 5 specific things that make up this moat. 5 things AI can't replicate.
Let's run through them. Number 1 is perspective.
But doesn't AI have a perspective? I can ask it to write in the style of a pirate.
It can mimic a style, but it can't hold a perspective. Perspective comes from belief, from having walked through the world in a specific body with limitations. AI has no beliefs, only weights and biases.
Number 2, energy or intellectual signature.
This is all about care. You can tell when a human writer actually gives a damn about their subject. There's a certain vibration to it. AI is completely indifferent.
It has no skin in the game.
None. And that leads to number 3, sense-making.
Which is?
The ability to determine what matters. An AI can summarize 1,000 data points about a crisis, but it can't tell you which fact is worth dying for. It can't prioritize based on human consequence because it faces no consequences itself.
Number 4, trajectory. This one's a bit abstract.
It's actually very physical. You have a past, a present, and a future. You have mortality. Your work has value because it represents a chunk of a finite life you chose to spend on this. That scarcity creates the value.
And finally, number 5, evolving taste.
Humans change. We grow. We cringe at things we did 10 years ago. That evolution is our story. And AI doesn't evolve without a prompt. It just sits there. Your ability to refine your taste over time is a superpower.
So we've got the philosophy, we've got the defense, let's talk offense. The source lays out a high-income skill stack for this new world. And it's a hierarchy, not just a list.
It is, and most people are looking at this hierarchy completely upside down.
What do you mean?
They focus on the technical know-how first. Oh, I need to learn Python. I need to learn prompt engineering. But in this new stack, technical skill is level 5. It's the least important differentiator.
So what's level 1, the foundation?
Level 1 is agency.
Agency, define that.
Agency is the ability to act without permission, to set a goal and move toward it without a boss or a syllabus telling you what to do next.
It breaks that school-to-job pipeline mentality.
Exactly. Most of us are trained to just wait for instructions. But in an AI world, if you're waiting for instructions, you're waiting to be automated.
Level 2 is taste.
Yeah, and we touched on this. In an age of infinite content, curation is more valuable than creation. The filter is the asset. Taste is your ability to say, this is good, this is bad, this is relevant.
It's the DJ versus the musician.
Perfect analogy. Level 3 is perspective. Level 4 is persuasion.
Sales and marketing.
But deeper. It's the ability to transfer your belief to someone else. You can have the best taste and perspective in the world, but if you can't tell a story that makes people care, you die in obscurity.
And then, at the very top, is the technical know-how.
Right. You still need to know how to use the tools, but the technical skill supports the agency. It doesn't replace it. It's the tool belt, not the carpenter.
So, if I summarize the whole shift,
Huh.
we're moving from a world where you were rewarded for being a compliant part of machine
Right.
to a world where you're rewarded for being a unique, opinionated, agency-driven individual.
That's the whole shift, and I know what people listening are probably thinking. It feels like a lot of pressure.
Yeah, be unique, be interesting. It sounds exhausting.
It does. It can feel overwhelming, but I think the source offers a really grounding concept at the end to deal with that anxiety. The infinite game.
Tell us about that.
Well, finite games are played to be won. Get the job, hit the sales quota, retire. AI is very good at winning finite games.
It just solves it instantly. It ruins the game.
Exactly. But an infinite game is played for the purpose of continuing the play. The goal is holistic growth, improving your craft, your relationships, your health.
It's about integration.
Yes. And if you view your life as an infinite game of becoming more you, AI can't beat you at that. It can't beat you at being you.
So the takeaway isn't to try to outwork the robot.
No. The takeaway is to double down on your humanity. Don't just consume. Start curating. Build that mode of perspective. The future isn't about doing more work. It's about being more human.
And maybe that's the silver lining here. The crisis of meaning might actually be the thing that forces us to find a better, more authentic meaning.
I think that's exactly it. When the noise gets louder, the signal becomes that much more valuable. Be the signal.
That feels like the perfect place to wrap it up. This has been a deep dive into the future of work and the meaning architect.
Keep building.
See you in the next one.